Welcome to the Blk Doctor Collective podcast. We as Black doctors are in a unique position. We can change our communities, healthcare, and the world. Of course, we start by changing the way we see and value ourselves. I'm your host, Dr. Shanika Horn, pediatrician and physician coach, travel extraordinaire. I am so happy to have you here and listening. So let's get into it. Hello, and welcome to season 5. I have been gone a minute. I'm honestly a little surprised at how long it's been. I just looked at the last recorded episode and it was June, the end of June. So sorry, y'all. If you're new here, welcome. We are here to discuss all things negotiation, medicine. So if you want to know all things you can negotiate out of your medical career, this is the place for you. This episode is the welcome back to the season. I'm going to give you an update about my most recent burnout and why I've been gone so long and all the things I've been doing over the past 4 months. It has been 4 months, July, August, September, October. Time flies. That I have not been podcasting. And if you are watching YouTube versus listening, you can see that I have totally changed my office setup. It's got a little bit of an upgrade. So I'll talk to you about how I'm now a plant mom. So y'all know I normally take 1 month of the year to not podcast. Usually that's August. This year I decided I'm going to take July and August. That should have been my first sign. Burnout was on the horizon. Actually, burnout was not on the horizon. It was fully present. It had arrived in town. It picked an apartment. It moved in. It nested, took up full residence, right? And this is such a lesson for me. And maybe in my story, it will be a lesson for you as well, because I presumed that all the things I had changed about my medical career were the cure to burnout, and also that I would never be burnt out again. And that was really based on this notion that burnout is caused by a very specific handful of things, right? Like autonomy, a decent schedule, work-life balance, as we like to say. I hate that phrase. If you've been here before and you listen, I don't think work should be a juxtaposition for life. That's ridiculous. Work is just a part of your life. But I thought that the cure for burnout was control, right? Controlling how I showed up, controlling the way I saw patients, the way I practice medicine. And that is still true, depending on the cause of your burnout. And I do still think that that is a major contributor to burnout for so many people. It's like, I'm trying to fit all these things into one day. But I think there's other elements and there's other things that lead to burnout, like the fact that practicing medicine in an environment where people think their opinion outweighs scientific data gets exhausting, and having to figure out what the next government surprise is going to be, and then seeing that immediately trickle down into your patient population, I think really is tiring. And I can't even imagine how much worse it would have been, or how sooner it would have hit, if I had been in the environment where I did not have ample time to talk to patients, to do patient education. Because try to explain vaccine schedules and vaccine science and vaccine policy in a 10 to 15-minute visit is impossible, especially when we consider how lacking the education system is in America. Like, until I went to medical school, I really had no concept of vaccine science and immunology. Like, basic things about our body, 99% of the population does not know. And this is like factual, right? So this is based on the idea that the average reading level in this country was 7th grade. I think it's now 6th grade. Great, we're regressing. But that, like, all important documents and all important things are usually at a higher level than that, right? Even the Bible is like a 10th grade level, right? The Constitution is at a high school level, right? Anything that's important that allows people to understand things and give people a frame of reference and like true comprehension of things is at a level higher than what we have expected across the country, which is crazy to me. Like, I don't need people learning about random things when we should be teaching people about basic anatomy, basic physiology, basic immunology, And taxes, like people should know finances and taxes. Well, we don't teach any of that. And I know that it's intentional on behalf, like on the part of the government to keep the population uneducated and working just so that there's a labor force. But like it is criminal at this point how much we are exploiting the general population. And I say we, it's not me, how much they are exploiting the general population of this country. It is detrimental to everyone's health. And having to combat that daily, knowing what I know, having the experience that I have, because I have multiple degrees in science, right? Like I have an undergrad degree, I have a public health degree, I have a medical degree, right? I did global health training. Like I have all the things. So my level of understanding is not the level of understanding of my patient population. And then trying to compact what took me, what, a decade to learn into a 10-minute visit is just not possible, right? I think that's just one element of my burnout, one element of what brought me to taking a 4-month leave from the podcast and even really kind of pausing my coaching business. And I say pauses, and I just stopped taking on new clients for a while. I still was, for supporting, I still am supporting my current client base. But yeah, I think that is one component, is the clinical component where we are trying to do a lot and trying to bridge gaps in education and understanding and debunk myths and conspiracy theories and misinformation, especially when it's coming straight down from the government on a mass level, is very difficult and definitely has contributed significantly to the way I feel. And like, I have a general sense of fatigue. Like, I literally felt like my body, and still do, feel like my body just feels heavy. It feels like the weight is on my shoulders. I feel sick. That's why they call it feelings. Like, you literally feel it in your body when something is off. I think the other cause of my burnout was my own behavior, right? So I have talked a few times on this podcast about the different jobs that I've had, right? So not only do I work clinically, I was running my own coaching practice. I am running my own coaching practice. I was coaching for my business coaches like a business, right? I'm podcasting slash YouTubing. I'm like doing a million things. I had so many things on my plate, and I felt a sense of pride in having that much stuff. And so, although I was talking about, oh, I only work 3 days a week, and I really do work 2 to 3 days a week clinically, I filled all the other days with all the other stuff. So, like, sure, I'm working clinically 2 days in clinic and one admin day now as the medical director. But then I was also coaching. So, like, Monday, I'm coaching all day. Tuesday, I'm in clinic. Wednesday, I'm coaching all day. Thursday, I'm in clinic. Friday, I'm doing admin time, which leaves Saturday and Sunday for me to then do more business stuff, more admin stuff. Essentially, at some point, I'm literally working, 6 to 7 days a week? Man, what was I thinking? I don't know. But I mean, to be honest, like a lot of these things were not things that I hated doing, right? That's part of the problem, is that they tell you this lie that if you find something you love, you'll never work another day in your life. And that's not true. You find things that you love, you'll work every day of your life. And so, although in my mind, it felt like, I think, there's a lot of mental load to practicing medicine. And so I felt like because coaching is not that same mental load, that it was fine. It was fine that I was working so many days of the week, that it was fine that I was doing all of these projects and work tasks and running the business and meeting with my VA and meeting with the other coaching programs team and giving feedback in the other coaching program and reading contracts for my clients and like, and on and on and on, posting on social media and like, and there's so many things in that I really do enjoy, right? Like I actually enjoy podcasting. I actually enjoy, talking to people, especially in coaching calls. That's why I think I like those aspects of medicine and why I focused on increasing my patient times was because I do like talking to people, right? I do like providing information and education so that they can make a better decision for themselves, so that they can progress in their lives. Because I do generally think that the more people know and the better they can make choices for themselves, the happier people tend to be. I think people are very unhappy with anything forced. And anytime they feel like they cannot make decisions that are good for them. And that works in the patient population, that works in the doctor population, that works in the general population. People want to be able to make choices for themselves that feel good and that really value what they think is important and allows them to prioritize themselves and their children and their families and their hobbies and whatever else. So because I like those things, because I love talking to people, because I love explaining things to people, that's why I'm in medicine. And that's why I became a coach. That's like all of these things happened. And I ended up burning myself out. So summer came and I was like, oh my God, I need a break from everything, which means I'm going to take an extra month in the podcast. I had already, I think, paused coaching for the other coaching program, although I was still attending all of the calls, some of the meetings, like still doing the most. Um, and at some point, I think by September, I was like, I'm shutting all this down. The thing is, this is the thing that people take for granted. You know when you need to shut down. You know, you know, you know. And then Amy kicks in. I call Amy my amygdala. She's like present for all the doubts and the she's fight or flight. She's all the anxiety, all the worries, right? So on the one hand, my frontal cortex, which is what goal sets for me, which is the part of your brain that's really in charge of goal setting and forward thinking, is like, girl, you need a break. You're doing a lot of things. You're working too many days a week. You're using vacations as escapism, things I've talked about on this podcast before. My amygdala was like, girl, but you got all these, you got to do it because, you have all these people counting on you and you already show up and you can do it. Like, you know how to, you just have to manage your time better. And, all these conversations I'm having internally, this like internal tug of war, defending why I need a break, countering with why I'm not giving myself a break. All of those things really just, yeah, it was a hot mess up in here. So, yeah, I ended up just shutting it all down. You will shut things down. Your body's going to shut things down. When you need a break and you don't take one, what happens? You end up on social media doing a mind spiral, like a doom scroll, scrolling endlessly for hours. And then you catch yourself and you're like, oh my God, I still need to do all of these things. And it's because your body and your brain knew you needed to take a break. You didn't do it. You ended up unintentionally taking a meaningless break, like a break that does not fulfill you, does not give you any replenishment. And then you feel guilty because now you haven't done any of the things on your to-do list and you wasted an hour on social media and you still never really got the break that you needed. And that's really what happened to me, right? It's like I needed this break. I ended up having to shut all my things down because I didn't take one and I didn't frame my life the way I needed to replenish. So I traveled every single month of the last like 3 years, basically. And this year I was like, I'm going to slow down the travel. I'm going to teach myself how to do staycations. I still haven't learned. I'm working on it, but it's a work in progress. There's layers to this, right? And I definitely take a lot more breaks than I did before. So I have to give myself some credit for the progress that I have made because I have been a true workaholic where I've just been exhausted to the ugh. And now I'm not there. I'm definitely at a different level, but I'm still working on things. I'm still trying to find how to be at home and not fill my day with work and fill my day with projects and really have a day where I can be like, I'm vegging out and not feel guilty about it, not feel like I got to put in the loads of laundry and do all the dishes. And I started using my dishwasher regularly, y'all. I need to get a housekeeper in here. That's my next step. But I need to delegate better. I just need to do better. And along that same vein, I think that transitions beautifully into what has been getting me through this next burnout period, asking for help. If y'all know me, that's not my strength. I am a DIYer, or at least a DIYer. But when it comes to like, you know what, I'm gonna just figure it out because ain't nobody gonna do it like I do. That has been such a terrible, traumatic response. And the thing is, sometimes when we ask for help, we don't get it. And sometimes when we ask for help, it's used against you, right? But if that's the only way you see asking for help, you will be in trouble because there are legitimately people out in this world who want to help you and will do a good job. And also, you have to release perfectionism, knowing that they're not going to do it exactly like you do it, but it's still good. It's still done. It's still good enough. So, all of these like reframes I'm doing all the time, right? I have to ask for help. Sometimes that help comes in so many different forms. Sometimes it's emotional support. Sometimes it's just spaces to vent. Sometimes it's literally asking people to do things for you. And still, sometimes when you ask people to do things for you, they are not going to do it. They're going to say they're going to do it and they're not going to do it. And you're going to be pissed and disappointed and hurt. And you're going to still not tell yourself, this is why I don't ask anybody for help. Because no, that person, you don't ask that person for help. You move on to the next person in your phone tree and you ask that person for help until you find someone who will do for you what you need. You cannot use every bad apple as a reason for not asking for help. I'm talking to myself right now. Okay. The other thing that has helped me is having the right kinds of support. So I have an episode on building your team. Who do you need around you to support you? What kind of team? And it could be anything from like friendship circles, family circles, who's in your community. It could be your financial advisor, your accountant. Oh, speaking of, I need to get back to my account. Anyway, add that to the to-do list. But it could be housekeeping support. I have a virtual assistant that I started working with over the summer who is amazing. Hey, Mercy girl, because you know she's going to edit this episode. Go, girl, you doing the thing. And those kinds of people, right? Having the support that you need already built into your life makes it much easier to take a break when you need one. And also, you already have people who are used to you, who know you, right? If you have a regular housekeeper, if you have a laundry service, I think honestly, waiting to be burnt out to find those things is probably the worst time. So find it now. Find someone you can outsource various things to now, because honestly, Mercy has literally been keeping my social media account alive for the last 4 months. It has not been me. I have been approving posts, writing some of the captions, definitely submitting content to her, but honestly, that woman is really holding the social media account down. So yeah, having the right circle, having the right types of support in place, knowing what kind of support you need, like be honest with yourself. Sometimes asking for help is damn hard, but be honest with yourself on what you need and be relentless about getting it. The other thing is hobbies. Now we're going to get into my favorite topic. If you've been here a while, you probably know that I have a tree in my house and her name is Tina. Hey, Tina girl. She was a plant I inherited from my mom, who thought she was going to be too big for her space and was going to put her out. But you know, Tina, we making it work, girl. She at the ceiling, but the sky's the limit for her. I just need to get a place with higher ceiling. I've had a few plants in here, and I've always had plants in my life. And so that has actually this summer, I discovered the world of the plant swap, which has turned me into a complete plant monster. And if you are watching the YouTube, you can see that I now have shelves and shelves of plants. So this summer, I learned about plant swap, and I don't even remember how I learned about it. But I Googled some stuff. I don't know. I found this plant swap in Bryant Park where people literally just bring either plants they no longer want, they bring cuttings of plants that they already have, they bring seedlings that they've been growing, plants they've been propagating. They all come out to Bryant Park. You can come with seeds and plants, or you can come empty handed. It really doesn't matter. Whoever sponsored the event also brought plants. So it was like a nice place to go to get free plants to start this, like, I'm starting my indoor garden. So that's where it started, and it's become a monster. I think I've gone to a plant event every single week since then. Well, I skipped a couple weeks, but yeah, like going to a lot of swaps. I've met a lot of people. I think sometimes we have to be reminded about who actually lives around us. I think in New York, particularly any city, it's so easy to get isolated. It's so easy to forget who lives around you. Like I don't know half this community. I know the neighbors in two directions on either side of my house, right? And I know them. Like, we say hi, we do some yard chit chat, we talk about the weather, right? But I don't really know them. I think sometimes we forget that there are people in this world that are still good people. And when you're watching the news and when you're on social media, and either people are living this overly glamorized life that is literally escapism, or you're getting bombarded by the trash news and the trash government policies that are happening right now, and the complete dismantling of every systemic benefit that we've ever had and paid for our entire lives. It's hard to remember that community is important. And so having these plant swaps, going to these events has really reminded me, like, I have met some great people. I have some great new plant friends, my planty friends, my planty community. Like, I went to a swap at the library and I met like the cutest 95-year-old woman. It's like an older Jewish woman named Ellie. So sweet. Like, we had an entire conversation about the progress of technology in her lifetime, about how horrible the government is, about how terrible things are in Gaza. Like, and sometimes you just need those kinds of conversations to remember that there are still people who value humanity and who are interested in the well-being of others at a community level, at a population level, where we are constantly seeing things being individualized. Even this notion of pulling yourself up by your bootstraps is BS, because all those people probably had sponsors or family or generational wealth. Like, no one pulls their own bootstraps. Let's be real. You know somebody, you talk to somebody, you get a mentor, you get a friend, somebody that helps you through disappointing times. Community is the most important thing. So, like, yes, I'm loving the plants, but I'm really valuing the community that I'm meeting, the people that I'm meeting. I have a new plant friend, Billy, who lives in Brooklyn with his spouse, and like, we invite each other to the various events that we see. We tell each other about new plant swaps, new things. We grow each other plants and trade, right? He's Filipino. We went to a soil class on the weekend and then went out and had Filipino food, right? Like, I have a new planty friend, Julia, who's from somewhere in Eastern Europe, I don't know, who's taught me so much about plant things. And it's like, these are different people from different backgrounds, different lifestyles, different jobs, different education levels, different everythings. And we are all in community because we have something in common and we treat each other kindly. We speak to each other well. We don't rely on capitalism. We're trading, or we're just sharing things. Like, people are giving each other things for free. And that is not something you often see in this country. And all of that, I think, is helping my healing from my burnout. The last one, I think, is priorities, right? Priorities that I set previously, values that I've outlined previously, I want to go back to, I want to reinforce, I want to prioritize rest. And for me, that means writing it down sometimes or scheduling it, because if I see gaps in my schedule, I have a compensatory need to fill the gap. I can't be doing that. Like, Lord, no. Okay. So prioritizing things that I already think are important, like community, family, my boyfriend, my friends, my health, right? That is what is also saving me from my burnout. So, quite frankly, I think I disappeared from a lot of spaces, and it was so healing for me. And giving myself to disappoint maybe somebody, I'm sure I disappointed somebody, but it is what it is, right? Like, at the end of it, I gotta heal and I gotta like figure things out for myself. I gotta figure out how to best support myself in a way that allows me to even show up for anybody else. And that's just what it is. So, all that said, that's the update. This is the beginning of season 5. I actually don't know how long this season's gonna go, and I don't even know if there's gonna be a season 6. Because again, I'm trying not to do all the things, and I'm going to be very intentional about honoring my body. I'm definitely showing up to everything a lot less. I'm definitely vegging out in my house more. I used a little interior decorating online app the other day that my friend sent me a referral to, and I have redone my living room. I have a new console. I got rid of old furniture. I had someone else call that away. I paid for that service. I didn't even bother with the waiting for the donation pickup. I got someone to haul it out and they do the donating because you can outsource everything. New furniture. Like y'all can see, I got my new plant shelving from IKEA and the new cabinet, lighting. I'm invested. Okay. I'm fully invested in the plant community and I'm loving it. So I don't know what this season's going to look like. I do have 2 guest episodes already and a third one on the way. So you'll see a little something from me. You're still going to hear stories from other doctors. You're going to see what everyone else is doing. I really want to emphasize community, if anything, this season, but we're still going to talk all things negotiation. And if you have topics or things that you want me to cover on the episodes, my DMs are open. My email is open. Y'all know how to reach me, the Blk Doctor, everywhere. And Black is spelled BLK, just like it is on the name of this podcast. And my contact information is all over the podcast. So if you have a topic, you're like, I have this burning question, not text it to me, girl. Text. Email it to me or DM me, and I will happily reply. And it could possibly be in a future episode. So that's it for today. Thank you guys for listening. Thanks for writing it out. Thanks for coming back after my 4-month hiatus. I have missed you all. And I look forward to see what we'll create this season. Bye. Thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe to the podcast. And what I want you to do next is link us everywhere you can. Instagram at The Blk Doctor. Just become part of our collective. I want you here. Thanks. Until next time. Bye.